Okay, good afternoon, class. So at this point, we are looking at the test you guys have written, which is the control test 2 of term 3. How far did we get? We got to question 4. So we'll start with question 5. Right, so we are given f of x equal to negative 2x squared minus 4x plus 30. Determine the x-intercepts. People, how do you calculate x-intercept? We need y equal to 0. So 0 is equal to negative 2x squared minus 4x plus 30. Okay? So I divide by negative 2. So 0 is equal to x squared plus 2x minus 50. Okay. Okay. So this is now a trinomial to us, not so? Which is x and x, 5 and 3, plus and minus. So x equal to negative 5 or x equal to 3. You all okay with that? Let's look at 5.2. Determine the equation of the axis of symmetry of f. How do you work out the axis of symmetry? It's minus b over 2a for the x value. So your b is negative 4, so minus 4 over 2, a is negative 2. So it's negative 2 times 2, or 2 times negative 2. Give me an answer of negative 1. So now, you guys can eat? Morning. Right, so your x value is minus 1. So how do you calculate the corresponding y value? You substitute negative 1 into the function. So f of negative 1 is negative 2 into negative 1 squared. Minus 4 times negative 1 plus 30. So that's going to give us negative 2 plus 4 plus 30, which is 32. Is that correct? So this turning point, of course, is going to be negative 1 and 32. Okay. You get 5.3. Well, I'm just going to keep this down here. People, there's enough noise outside. Please don't talk in the background. It's irritating. In 5.3, the question says, that's a bit better. Sketch a graph of f. So if we need to sketch this graph here, so it's all by approximation, okay? So now it's going to cut to x at minus 5. And of course, the 3 will be less than 5. Not so. It has an axis of symmetry at x is equal to negative 1. And on this, it turns at the corresponding y value I have. You guys agree?
I'm so sorry.
No problem.
I'm trying to book dates for my stuff.
Are you in the camera?
When do you want to do your maths test?
What maths?
Manfred says that on one of the Tuesdays you guys are booking a maths test for
I think it's the last, not the high school. It's only grade 8, 10 and 11. Cycle test.
But that's the ones I need. Okay, but you have a date for that?
Yeah, I think which date did we say? The 31st.
Oh, so you want the last? Because Manfred said you might want it a bit sooner. But you're going to book the 31st.
Yeah.
Have you booked it already? You're going to book it?
Yeah, that's the date I need to book it now.
Okay, so 31st and then... Yeah, I want to do my exams in school time and I don't want to do it after school.
Of course not. Yeah. So that we can also taste them. Yeah.
I don't know if you'll get that for. Okay, thank you, sir.
No problem.
So you're going to message or must I? Okay, 31st of
It's
October.
only grade 10 and 11.
Yeah, that's the ones I need. Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, so of course this has a a negative in front of x squared, so the graph is going to be a maximum function at -1 and 32. So there is where 3 basically lies. Not so. Then it has a y-intercept of 30. You understand, people? Although the calculations didn't specify to calculate the y-intercept, I need to indicate it on the graph because it's a key feature on the parabola graph. Okay. Then the question says, what is the range of f? So what is the range? The range is all possible y values. Okay, so does this graph exist at negative infinity? Yes. Where does it stop existing at? The y value of 32. So in other words, y must be less than or equal to 32. Okay, you guys understand? Y is to be less than or equal to 32. Then in the next question says, write down the equation of g in the form of g of x equal to a into x plus p all squared plus q. If g is formed by reflecting the graph of f about the x-axis and then shifting it 2 units down. So with that in mind, firstly, we must first get the f of x graph in the completing of the square form. Okay? We know that the equation of f of x is equal to -2x squared. What's the equation of f of x? -2x squared is minus 4x plus 30. So in completing of the square form, we know that a is -2, so it's -2 into. Remember, we got y is equal. This is the standard form, no? We know a is -2. However, the x is -1, so it's going to be +1 squared plus q, which is 32 in this case. So that is f of x. Now, g of x is formed from f of x by reflecting it about the y-axis. So if something is reflected in the y-axis, what's the rule? Reflected in y-axis, x becomes negative. Not so. X and y, x becomes negative. So it's y is equal to -2 into minus x plus 1 squared plus 32. Not so. Then shifting it 2 units down. So what do? A -2. Not so. So I subtract 2 then. So if I tidy that up, I'm going to take out negative as a common factor there. But negative squared is positive. So it's not going to affect that. So it's negative into -1 squared plus 32 minus 2 is 30. So that is the equation that you should be looking for. Okay. Okay, I see the memo is wrong there again. Who got that answer but didn't get the mark for it? You? Sorry? Okay. Data, say. When? You should get full marks. No? Okay. Whoever has a problem with the marking will sort that out. I didn't mark this paper. Right, next. Listen, I just want to give you guys marks. But I see the others don't want to give you marks. No? Yeah, okay. Question 6, people, the diagram below shows f of x equals a over x plus p plus q. And the graph passes through the point -3 and 4. and the asymptote of the graph intersected -2 and 1. So with that in mind, with that asymptote being that point there, we know that this line is y is equal to 1, and this is x is equal to -2. Okay. So looking at that equation, is f of x is equal to, what is it? A over x plus p plus q. So what is your a value? We don't know, but we know that your p is your x. So it's going to be a over x plus 2 plus 1. Remember, that is the additive inverse. Okay? So that is f of x. So how do we calculate a? We substitute the pointers lying on this graph, which is -3 and 4. That's an x and a y. So 4 is equal to a over -3 plus 2 plus 1. So it's going to give you negative a is equal to 3. A is equal to -3. Okay. So now we say f of x is equal to -3 over x plus 2 plus 1. The question was the values of a, p, and q. So there's a. Your p value, of course, is going to be 2, while your q value is 1. Okay. Any confusion there, people? We are moving too fast. No. Okay. I'm just going to write the equation here. So f of x is equal to -3 over x plus 2 plus 1. Okay. Let's take this off here. Okay, the next question. It says write down the domain of f. People, what is the domain? All possible x values. So as you can see here, this graph is going to negative infinity on x and positive infinity on x. That's so. That means to say x is an element of all real numbers. Okay. However, x cannot be equal to -3. Let's look at 6.3. Okay. So 6.3, we will see the graph above. The above graph has been given in your answer book, okay? On the same set of axes, sketch the graph of g of x is equal to 2 to the minus x minus 4. So what do we do here, people? For x-intercept, what we do? We let y equal to 0. So we have 0 is equal to 2 to the minus x minus 4. They get over becomes 4, which is 2 squared. So therefore, 2 is equal to minus x is equal to -2. Okay. So it's going to be on this point here. Then what do we do for y-intercept? We let x equal to 0. Okay. So g of 0 is equal to 2 to the minus 0 minus 4, which is minus 3. There's a horizontal asymptote at -4. Let's just throw that in there. Y is equal to -4. The graph is a decreasing function, as we know, according to our rules there. Just going through -2 and -3. As we said, it's a decreasing exponential function. Now I'm actually concerned if it's going through 3 and -3 and what is this? -3 and 4. Let's check. I'm going to put -3 in here. It's going to be 2 to the 3, which is 8, and 8 minus 4 is 4. So in other words, it's actually going through this point as well. Can you see that? And why is like this? That is because it came very close. You guys understand? Yeah, if it didn't draw it through there, you shouldn't be penalized for it because I didn't ask you to test if that point is lying on the graph. Okay, but in actual fact, it's lying on the graph. Okay? And this is the graph of G. Any confusion there? No. Okay? Let's go to the next question, 6.4. It is given that the graph of f and g intersect at negative 3 and 4. Okay, now we discovered that before they told us this. But we would have known at this point if not. So it's given that the graph of f and g intersect at negative 3 and 4 and negative 1 and 2. Negative 1, negative 2. So that point there is approximately here. Okay. Determine the value of x for which g of x is greater than f of x. Okay. So well, what is g? G is the red graph, no? Is g above the f graph here? Yes. So in other words, x must be less than minus 3. Can you see that? Is g on top here? No. You see? What's the name's on top here? Is g on top here? Yes. So it's from negative 2 to negative 1. Can you see that, people? So in other words, x must be less than negative 3 or x must be greater than negative 2 but less than negative 1. So there's an equal sign as well. Are they equal to each other at negative 3? Yes. Are they equal to each other at negative 2? No. What is happening at negative 2? It's an asymptote. Not so. So I never put an equal sign in the asymptote. Is it equal at negative 1? Yes. So in other words, x must be less than or equal to negative 3 or x must be greater than negative 2 but less than or equal to negative 1 there. Is there any confusion there? Okay. Let's carry on with our lives. Question 7. Finance. Calculate the effective interest rate per annum if the investment earns 7.8% per annum. Compound monthly. So what's my formula? 1 plus IE, 1 plus I effective equals 1 plus I to the m over m to the m. Okay. So 7.8% per annum compounded monthly. So that's a nominal interest rate. So I'm calculating the effective. So it's 1 plus 0,078 over 12 to the 12. So I take that over. What I now get is 1 plus 0,078 over 12 to the exponent 12 minus 1, 0,0808. We multiply it by 100, gives you 8,08. 8,08%. You all agree with that? Right? Let's carry on to the next one. The question paper and memo can be found in the description box below. I will rescan this memo. Did I send it to you guys already? No. Good. Right, so you can get it here as well. Okay. I'll probably do it by tomorrow morning. Okay. So we are told that Faye invested 28,000 into a savings account and pays an interest to a savings account that pays an interest of 7.5% per annum compounded monthly for the first 4 years. This looks like a timeline question, not so? Right, so let's go. T0. To invest 28,000. Faye is not a teacher. Okay. So I don't have 28,000. Okay. Then, for the first 4 years, that's T4. So how much is that? 7.5% compounded month. Okay, that's in line there. Right. 7.5% and 11% per annum compounded quarterly thereafter. 11% per annum compounded quarterly. She withdrew 7,300 rand at the end of the 4th year. She withdrew 7,300. 7,300 Rand. Calculate the balance at the end of 7 years. So there's one of two ways I can do it, okay? It's either I break it up or I work it to the end all the time, okay? So if we're going to consider, firstly the formula is P into 1 plus I, the exponent instance is compound. So if we're going to consider the 28,000 Rand, so what happens is, I take it to T4, why? So the interest rate changes until the end. Not so. It's going to be 28,000 Rand into 1 plus I, which is 0,075 over 12, to the exponent 12 times 4 years, into the next interest factor, which is 1 plus 0,11 over 4 to the exponent 4 times, and this is for 3 years. Okay. Then we consider the withdrawal of 7,300 Rand. And what happens is that interest factor is 1 plus 0,11 over 4 to the exponent 4 times 3. Okay, let's see if I'm 8,000 into 1 plus 0,07 over 12 to the exponent 12 times 4 into 1 plus 0,11 over 4. You make a mistake? 0,75. Thank you. Huh? What's wrong now? Nothing. Is it still wrong? Okay, to the exponent 4 times 3 minus, whoops. Now you're making me nervous. Minus 7,300 into 1 plus 0,11 over 4 to the exponent 4 times 3. Gives us 42,181 Rand and 59 cents. Sounds like it's the one sum you guys all got right. Not you, okay. 42,181 Rand and 59 cents. Okay. Any confusion there? Right, let's carry on with the lives. The school buys a mini bus worth 575,000. That's probably a new school bus. It depreciates at 13%, 13.5% on straight line basis. That can't be the case. Vehicles and machinery always depreciates on reducing balance value. These computers and those things that depreciate on straight line basis. The taxi will always be worth something. Okay. But let's act like we don't know those things. So the bus depreciates at 30.5% on straight line basis. How much is the bus worth at the end of 6 years? So what do is, we say A is equal to P into 1 minus I times M. Okay, so it's going to be 575,000 Rand into 1 minus I, which is 0,135 times in 6 years. Okay, so it's 575,000 into 1 minus 0.135 times 6. 109,000. 250. Number 2. The school will replace the bus in 6 years' time. The expected cost of inflation. What's the formula for inflation? A is equal to P into 1 plus I to the exponent N. Right. So now, it's going to be 575,000 Rand into 1 plus I. 0,112 to the time, to the exponent. Sorry? When you talk to me a little. You don't talk to me. How much I now feel? Now tonight when I cry myself to sleep and my wife don't know what is going on. Now what's the cost of the taxi in 6 years' time with a minibus? 1,087,167 rand and 77 cents. Yes. Sorry? Determine the expected cost of the new bus. You don't have to write down the cents. Or they say to the nearest rand. They penalize you for so it's fine. Or you want me to take that 1 mark off? It's okay, I can no problem. And nobody says to the nearest rand and then I don't need to put the cents. But I know you guys don't work with cents, no? You guys are posh, no? Right, people, 7.3.3. The school sets up a sinking fund to replace the bus in 6 years' time. They deposit an initial amount of 160,000 at the end of 2 years. At the end of year 2. Wait. The school sets up a fund to replace the bus in 6 years' time. They deposit an initial amount of 160,000 at the end of 2 years. They deposited what? Okay, so no, is there a full stop here? Okay, now it makes sense. You see why English is important? Huh? So that you can read your maths paper properly. That's the only reason. No? Not really. It is. Right, T0. Initial 160,000 deposit. Okay. At the end of year 2, that is T2, they deposit an additional 125,000. And at the end of year 5, T5, a further 198,000 rand is added. The account earned an interest rate of 9.3% per annum compounded annually. How much will they have in the account at the end of 6 years? Okay. You guys understand? Right. Let's go. So, I'm going to consider the 160,000 rand straight to the end. Not so. So it's going to be, there's no interest change there. So it's 160,000 into 1 plus 0,093. And how many years is that for? 6 years. Not so. Plus, now I'm considering 125,000 to the end. 125,000 into 1 plus 0,093 to the exponent, 4 years. Not so. And then 198,000 into 1 plus 0,093 to the exponent, 1. You guys understand? So A total is equal to, so that same interest factor of 1 plus 0,093 is repeated. I just put that as an answer, so it's 160,000 into 1 plus 0,093 to the exponent, 6, plus 125,000 answer, which is 1 plus 0,093, and that is to the exponent, 4, plus 198,000, whoops, answer to the exponent 1. We don't have to put the exponent. So that gives us 667,610 rand and 14 cents. Okay. Verstaan julle? Right. Die laaste vraagie, the last question. It says here, determine how much money the school needs to add to the amount in the account in order to replace the bus in 6 years' time. What is the cost of the bus in 6 years' time? 1 million? Right, and then I must minus it from that amount. Can you see that, people? Copy. Of course, that amount is coming from here. So the shortfall, or the total needed, that is a bit too close to the line. The total, the difference of that, not so. So we say 1,087,167 rand 77 cents minus that answer gives me 419,557 rand and 63 cents. Yes? You got 1 mark. You should get 2 marks. Okay. You got exactly the same answer. 1 million, 1. The answer here is 310,000. Did anybody get that answer? Nee man. Wat gaan dan aan? I didn't do this paper. Okay. Right, let's look at the next one. People, question 8. Maybe here's some, I don't know if it's the printing or what. Right. People, 2 bags, A and B, are filled with colored discs. Lisa Kanya ran. Any Lisa Kanya here? Yes. Did Lisa Kanya get 4 marks for this question? Of course. Nice. I like it. Randomly selected a bag and throw a disc from it. It is equally likely that Lisa Kanya will choose bag A or bag B. So, it was equally likely. What's the probability of she choosing bag A? Bag B. Bag A contains 1 green disc and 7 red discs. What's it? Green and red. 1 green out of 8 and 7 out of 8 reds. Can you see that? Big B, GR. Bag B contains, how many is that? 3. 3 out of 8. And the red is 5 out of 8. So what's my outcomes? Bag A green, bag A red, bag B green, bag B red. Those are the outcomes, okay? It says, draw a tree diagram to represent the above information. Show the probabilities associated with each branch. This is what they are referring to. As well as the possible outcomes, and that is what they are referring to. Will you guys understand? Can't believe this stuff is so easy. No, you as well, nice. Let's go to these questions here. They must spice up our lives a bit, no? About keep life so easy, no? Eight point 8.1.2. Write down the probability that Lisa Kanya will draw a green disc from bag B. So, in other words, this is the branch you will be following. Green disc from bag B. Can you see that, people? So, in other words, this would simply be the probability of B intersection green. It's going to be half multiplied by 3 over That's going to give you 3 over 16. Is that correct? 3 over 16. You must check. Right? 8.1.3. Calculate the probability of basically choosing a red disk. Now, if you're looking at the red disk, so it's not specified from which bag in essence. Okay. So a red disk, it could be that there, or it could be that there. Not so. So in other words, it's bag A, red, bag B, red. You guys understand? Is it crayon, no? Yes, we just that ECD, that crash stuff is coming out of me now, no? Right. Well, anybody want to say a comment? Question? No? Okay, nice. So, the probability of choosing a red could be A intersection red from bag A in the red plus bag B in the red. So that is simply half times 7 over 8 plus half times 5 over 8. Okay. So it's half times 7 over 8 plus half times 5 over 8. That's going to give you 3 quarters. Or you can say 0.75, or you can say 75%. Okay, all of that is acceptable there. Sanyala. Right. People, 8.2. A and B are two events in the sample space. The probability of not A is 0.48. So if the probability of not A is 0.48, then the probability of A is then what? 1 minus that, which is the complement, which is 0.52. Okay. Then, and B is 0.32. The question says determine, oh my word, there's A. Not us even doing anything. No? We have that answer. Let's look at number 2. I know you guys are upset, this paper is so easy. It is given that A and B are independent events. What does independent mean? Right, you guys are right. Dependent mean to say, or independent events mean to say, whether one event occurring has no bearing on the other. Okay? You guys understand? So, if A and B are independent, determine the probability of A and B. So the probability of A and B is equal to the probability of A times the probability of B. Not so. Probability of A 0.352 times 0.32. Okay. 0.32 times 0.52 gives us 0.1664. Okay. Or 0.717. Okay, because I'm going to work at 2 decimal places there. Alright. Next. Favorites. Circles. No? Yeah, we are told that the grade 11s at a certain high school. Definitely Venn diagram. Okay, certain high school. Choose at least one subject from the following 3 subjects. Lot of circles here, no? 3. So you got history, geography, and physical science. Okay. There are a total of 173 grade 11s. That's your sample space. Okay. So here we are told that Here we are told that 115 chose, make this a bit bigger. Okay, so 115 chooses history. So that plus that plus that plus that is all equal to 115. Okay. Then, just take it out. $55 shows geography. So that means to say that all this here adds up to 55. Okay. 65 shows physical science. 63. Okay, so those four parts add to 63. 23 learners chose history and geography, but not physical science. 23. It's here it says let the number of learners who choose all three subjects be X. Okay, so now okay, let's go back to that 23. That is the last bullet, okay. So 23 learners chose history and geography. History and geography. But not physical science. So he's taking that out there. Not so. So how many of them are there? 23. Okay, so 23 goes here. How do you get 12? Huh? Okay, 12 learners chose history and geography. 12 learners chose history and geography. No. 12 learners chose history and physical science. Right? But not geography. So that 12 goes here. Okay? 17 chose geography and physical science, but not history. Then 17 goes here. Okay? Does all these learners take part in at least one of these subjects? Did I say that? Huh? Yes. Where? On top. Let's read again. Grade 11 certain school. It shows at least one of the right, absolutely correct. Because if that was not said, then there are learners on the outside as well. Not so. Because then that learners would fall here outside the given constraints. So it says draw a Venn diagram to represent the information above, and there's your Venn diagram. Okay. But of course, this here we can fill in as well because we've got enough information here. So this here, the blank in geography plus that 23 plus that x plus that 17 adds up to 55. The blank in geography is going to be 55 minus 23 minus 17 gives us 15. So it's going to be 15 minus x. Okay, so that is 15 minus x. So let's go to that missing part for the physical science. Plus 17 plus x plus 12 is equal to 63. That missing physical science part is 63 minus 17 minus 12 is 34. So that's going to be 34 minus x. And the missing history part there, plus 23 plus 12 plus x is equal to 115. The missing history part is going to be 115 minus 23 minus 12 minus x. So that's going to give you 115 minus 12 minus 23. Gives us 80. So that is going to be 80 minus x. Okay. Let's look at the next question. There my Venn diagram is drawn. Now it says solve for x. Almost there, huh? Okay. So determine the value of x. So what do? I now say that all of this adds up to 115. Not so. So 115 plus 15 minus x plus 17 plus 34 minus x is equal to 173. You guys understand? Otherwise, you could have said 80 minus x plus 23 plus x plus 12 plus 34 minus x plus 17 plus 15 minus x is equal to, it's going to give you the same thing. Yeah? There's 115 plus, so that's a common, what's the name? We're accounting for everything in h. 15 minus x plus 17 plus 34 minus x is equal to 173. So we're going to be 173 minus 34 minus 17 minus 15 minus 115 gives us negative 8. So negative 2x is equal to negative 8, so x is equal to 4. Okay. Then the question says determine the probability that the learner selected from the group at random choose at least 2 of the subjects. He chooses at least 2. So can he choose 3? Can he choose 1? No. So the probability that it's at least 2. So it's going to be that one, that one, that one plus that one. Can you see that, people? So it's 23 plus 4 plus 17 plus 12 over 173. So it's going to be 23 plus 4 plus 17 plus 12 over 173. It's going to be 56 over 173. Okay. And then the last question, your bonus question here, we are told that for any events A and B, it's given that the probability of A and B is equal to 0.12. The probability of A or B is equal to 0.83. The probability of B is equal to 4 times the probability of A. Note that events A and B are not mutually exclusive, which means to say there's an overlap, not so. So that means to say that the probability of A or B is equal to the probability of A plus the probability of B minus the probability of A intersection B. They want to know what the PB is. The probability of A in union B is 0.83. The probability of A, remember they wanted to calculate B. So I'm going to keep B and change A. So the probability of A is equal to 1/4 the probability of B. So the probability of A is going to be 1/4 probability of B plus the probability of B minus the probability of the intersection of A and B, 0.1. Take it over the equal sign. So it becomes 0.83 plus 0.12 gives us 0.95, which is equal to 1/4 plus 1 is 5/4 probability of B. So now I divide both sides by 5/4. That cancels, so the probability of B is going to be divided by 5/4 gives us 0.06. Okay. Alright, people, and that is how you get close to 100%. By writing those answers down the table. Okay. People, that brings us to the end of this paper. Before you leave, I need to give you a quote, okay?